Hey everybody, it's the girl Bondy Blue. Okay, so this is a different type of video for me. I normally don't do videos about stuff like this, but I just had to because I got this overwhelming response on my Instagram when I posted about it. So, and the topic is menstrual cups. Yes, cups that you put in your vagina in order to seal and lock in the blood. This is going to be a candid conversation about what we go through as women dealing with our periods. So if you are going to have a hard time listening to me talk about this, you probably shouldn't watch, okay? Or if you don't want to see me handle things that have been stuck up my nether regions, they've been cleaned, but still, that's where they've been, then yeah, go ahead and tap out. But if you're interested, stick around and let's get into menstrual cups. Okay, so how did I even think to get into menstrual cups? I had seen the Diva cup a couple of times and I was like, I'm a pads girl. I'm fine. But then I started reading into how toxic the pads are, and then I can remember how I felt when I actually had like a scented pad on. Not the best feeling when you're having cramps. Like, I don't know why, but it just made it worse. So I started using the non-toxic pads. I think it's like 7th or 8th generation, like one of those. But whatever adhesive they use with those pads is trash. Sorry, it's trash. It does not stay in your panties. The other pads that I wear that are toxic, they stick to your panties, okay? But the non-toxic kind, they don't stick to your panties. Lose, okay? Lose, all right? I don't want to have to choose between my pads sliding all over the place or having toxic cooch. Didn't want that as an issue. So after some conversation on Twitter, some girls told me to get into the menstrual cup. And that's what I did. I did some research. You guys, they have lint on them because they've been inside these little baggies that they come with. These are two different types of cups. This is a Lena cup, I believe. I don't know why the box says Athena cup, but either way, Athena, Lena, it says Athena cup on the box. I'm gonna say it's an Athena cup. Okay, so this is an Athena cup. I hope that doesn't green screen affect too terribly, okay? And this is the first one that I got. This silicone that it is made out of, it is 100% medical grade silicone, both of these, okay? They're supposed to be non-toxic. The colors are not supposed to affect the health of your vag, okay? I didn't feel like it did. Like I didn't get those same feelings that I get when I did have, you know, like pads on that were scented or something like that. So I just supposed that it was great, right? I normally have a period for about 5 days, like, and I mean like the whole 5 days. It's, you know, the beginning, the middle, and then the end where we're cleaning things up. So about 5 days, right? And I used the Athena cup throughout the first, I want to say 4 days. And then I got this one in the mail on like the second to last day. And so on the last, like my lightest day, I use this one. And this one, the silicone isn't as firm as the silicone in the Athena cup. And I feel like this is probably similar to the Diva cup or any other cups that you will get because this is a salt cup. The salt cup is actually, it's supposed to specialize in it being a soft menstrual cup. So that's what it's called, soft menstrual cup, all right? It also comes in small and regular. This one also comes in small and regular. And I believe that, or is it 1 and 2? But either way, I got the smallest one with both because the second one is supposed to be when you have like a really, you know, heavy flow or when you've already had children or you're over 30. I'm over 30, but I've never had children and I don't have like the heaviest flow. I will say that on the first day that I used this and that I was really having a heavy flow, because I'm going to explain like when I put it in and all of that. But I want to say that when I had my heaviest flow at the 12th hour, that was when I finally wiped and saw some residue. Not full blood, but just some residue. You know, kind of that you would see if you had a tampon and your tampon was leaking a little bit, but it wasn't like a whole bunch. And that was when I was going to change the cup. So obviously it was the 12th hour, it was time. You can wear these cups for 12 hours and that is the truth, especially if you get the appropriate size for your flow. So after that, I didn't have any leakage whatsoever with either cup. No leakage whatsoever. Honestly, I would tell y'all that I actually like both cups. I like this cup because it actually was firmer. At first, I didn't like that because it kind of made it uncomfortable when I would put it in or pop it out. But what I figured out is it's the method that you use to put it in. They all come with these little packets in them to explain what you're doing. Okay, so just to clarify, because I'm reading it now, the Athena cup does have the 1 and 2, and I have 1 as far as sizes. They also say that you can wash them with soap and water, whatever soap you would use on your body. Like I use Dove soap, so I would just wash it with the Dove soap in hot water. But with the salt cup, they say to boil it first before you use it. The Athena cup, they said you could just wash it with soap and water before you use it. Honestly, I followed the instructions for both. So after I was finished with this one, I boiled it. So it has been boiled. And I also boiled this one when I was done and before I started using it, because that's what the instructions were. The instructions with the Athena cup were you can just go ahead and wash it with soap and water. But the most important thing is to make sure that the holes that they have along the rim are clear so that the suction can happen. Because what happens is when you put this inside yourself, it creates a suction, and the silicone lining kind of blends in with the walls of your vagina. So what happens is when you're bleeding, it just goes into the cup. I know you're thinking, oh my God, it's disgusting. The cup is gonna be full of blood. Okay, the way I handle this is, once you do it a lot, I feel like once I had gotten to the end of my period, you guys, after like, what, 4 or 5 days, I felt like I completely had a handle on taking it out and putting it in. I use my muscles to push it down, and I use 2 fingers to get in there, grab it at the tip. Okay, not this part. Do not pull it out from this part or this part. No matter what cup you use, do not pull it out from this. It's not gonna work, and it's just gonna hurt. Okay, you have to press the bottoms, okay, where the rings are, so that you can release the suction, and then you can kind of shift it out of yourself. This one is harder to get out because it is smaller and it bends more, so you kind of have to do a little bit more pushing and digging to get it out, and I mean pushing with your pelvic muscles. But once I, had gotten the handle of this one was kind of easy. Just took a little longer sometimes to get it to come down all the way. But when it came out, it didn't hurt at all. Easy in, easy out. With this one, at first, when I would take it out, because this rim is so firm, it would kind of hurt a little bit. I just wasn't used to messing with my flesh down there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, not in that capacity, like, having to dig in there, because you kind of have to dig in there to get that suction cut off of it like that, okay? But like I said, use your pelvic muscles. You can push it down. You can use this to kind of, move it around a bit to try to get it to come down a little bit, but do not pull it out by this. You have to break the suction, and then you can pull it down, okay? So I just wanted to be very clear about that. So as far as the folds, they have 3 listed. They have the punch down fold, they have the C folds, and they have, I think that says 7 fold. I think that's what that says. Y'all, my eyes are bad. Don't trust me, okay? So at first I tried the C fold, which is when you line the sides up like this and you put it in half like that and you insert it into your vagina, okay? That did not work for me, because once it gets in there, it's supposed to pop open. Well, I couldn't get my insides to take all of this at one time, because one side will always kind of feel like it wasn't in as much, which kind of happens with the punch down fold, but the punch down fold was way easier to insert. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell y'all. And the punch down fold is when you punch down one side like that and you kind of fold it in. And so it's like this. You see? I don't know if it's gonna focus. 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 Okay, so yeah. And then I would just put that part in, get that part in, and then it will release. And then what you do is, once it's in there, you check around the rim of it. Once it's inside you, you check around the sides of it to make sure that it's out and it's open. So the seal will be sealed and you won't have any, stuff coming down. I promise you it'll be uncomfortable if it's not in right. So the first night that I actually put it in, and my period was just starting, so I wasn't on full flow yet. So I just wanted to try it. So I put this first one in that night, and I could feel it on my bladder. That was uncomfortable. So I took it out. And then the next morning, once I was like fully bleeding, I put it in the shower once I had rinsed it off. That's also what I would say. The easiest way to do this is in the shower. Water actually makes these more slippery and easy to pull out and put in. So I would suggest you being in the shower. If you can have this in for 12 hours in the morning and then at night, I would definitely say that's when you should be dealing with this. I wouldn't want to have to deal with this in public, but if you wear it for 12 hours, you really shouldn't have to, but you should make sure you have the right size. But I will also say, I don't think I ever got close to filling up this cup. Like at the most, it was like right here when it was really time to, like, the first 2 days, it was like right here, okay? So almost, but not enough to be coming out. When I tell y'all, I didn't see a spot in my panties the entire time, except for, like I said, when I wiped, but nothing was in my panties. But you know, the first day when it was time for me to take it out, empty it, you wash it with soap and water, you insert it back in. So you don't have to boil it every time you know, take it out. You just have to wash it with soap and water. That's for this one as well. The salt cup, I feel like especially if you're a younger girl and you know you haven't had sex yet, I feel like this is the move. Also because the silicone on the end is not as hard. Because I felt like every once in a while when my cervix was low, if I would wipe, I could still feel this. And that kind of agitated me. But I would just kind of, you know, go back in and make sure it was up. But usually when I would move around, it would kind of find its placement. So after a while, I did not feel this at all, okay? But it took some getting used to. With this one, by the time I had used this one, I was already used to this one, so this one was easy peasy for me. But I have to say that this part being so soft and the actual cup being so soft made it way more comfortable throughout. But I will say it's then harder to get out because the silicone is so soft. So I honestly would tell you to try one or the other. Try both if you want to. This one, the Athena cup, I got on Amazon for about $15 and some change, so probably around $16. The Diva cup is like almost 40 bucks at Walmart. It's like $35 or something like that. So I would definitely suggest getting them offline instead, Amazon namely. I got the salt cup also off of Amazon, and this one was $28. This one was a little bit more pricey than this one, but I just told you why. Okay, this really soft silicone that still, you know, upholds. Now I did not use this on my heavy day, but I used it on the, you know, on the days when I had like a little bit of blood and then like that after part, y'all know what I'm talking about? So yeah, and I was able to have this in like on the last day when I was just trying to make sure that I wasn't spotting like at all, you know, nothing. I actually had nothing in it. Like I took it out and it was like, you know, nothing but, you know, your insides, discharge, stuff like that, but nothing with color. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I knew my period was completely over because when I took it out, there was nothing in. I feel like it made my period go by faster. I felt like it was amazing because I didn't have to put on a pad at night. I would just switch them out at night, and then again in the morning when I got up before I would leave to go to work or whatever I was doing, I would change it out in the morning. Like I would really go 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours. And it worked great for me. I don't think that I will ever wear anything else. I don't see a point to it. Because with pads, like, they don't stick well. I don't like wearing them. They make me hot. Who wants, you know, I don't want to be hot down there all the time. I don't want to have to worry about changing it all the time and bringing pads with me all the time. Because I swear to God, I'll forget, okay? I swear sometimes I'll forget to put an extra one in my purse. But thank God I always keep extras in my car. But yeah, so, I feel like you should try either or. Just make sure you have the right size for your flow. And I feel like it's like the best thing, you guys. Like, I swear, it is so easy. Okay, so let's talk about the gross part before I go. So when I did take, you know, when I did take it out, and I was in the shower, I was just let the blood run down the drain. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was very simple. And then once I washed it out with it being wet, it was so easy to insert again. And you're sealed all over again. You don't have to worry about anything coming out on your panties. Nothing. Do y'all hear me? Nothing. All right? I would definitely suggest trying a menstrual cup. I know some of y'all, y'all don't want to touch y'all blood and all of that. I really feel like y'all need to get over it. You're a woman, you have a period, this is what you're going to have to deal with. Like, you're going to have to touch your blood at one point or another, okay? So yeah, I would suggest trying either cup. There are some people that cut these tips off because they can be uncomfortable depending on how they fit in your vagina. Like, this one only sometimes, because it is firm. Only sometimes, but like not the whole time. Like, I could tell you I really did have to remind myself I had this in. So it wasn't completely bothersome, but I would have to say that this one, being so flexible and being so soft, was definitely the better bet. As far as how I felt. But I didn't feel any of this hanging out. None of this was hanging out. It was just when I had used the bathroom, made a bowel movement, and I did some, any type of pushing, and then I was on my period, so it would kind of go up and down, throughout the period or whatever. And sometimes it was lower than others. Like, other times it was in there. Like, my walls were closed. The door is closed, and the cup was in there, and then the doors were closed. Okay, so yeah. Best thing I've ever used. I've never been a tampon girl. The toxic shock thing freaks me out. I felt it before. I don't like it. So I don't like tampons, but I would use them sometimes because I didn't feel like wearing a pad. Like, sometimes it's just, But this is perfect. This is perfect. So I would definitely suggest it, y'all. Try the menstrual cups. Tell me how you like them. Tell me what your experience has been. A lot of girls I saw complain, definitely I feel like need to check size. Because I think, sometimes you assume you need a smaller cup when really you need a bigger cup. Also, these Athena cups or the Lena cup, whichever it's called, I think are actually a little bit larger than the Diva cup. Excuse me, just in the way, the width or whatever. So you just might want to do your research, look at them. If you want to get a clear one that doesn't have, a color, that's fine. But I mean, some of them, the sizes come with a color. So that's just the way it is. But they also come with instructions on what to do and these little bags, which I thought were super cute to have them in. So my Athena/Lena cup goes in here. And I think it's an Athena cup. I don't know if I ordered the wrong. I have no idea. Either way it worked. Okay, and the salt cup is in here. And when I have my next period, I'll probably try the salt cup for the whole time and see how I feel about it. Because it definitely feels smaller than the Athena cup. But yeah, both definitely did a great job. So you guys check those out. Comment down below. Tell me what you feel. And yeah, I'm glad we were able to have this conversation. Because I didn't know. Girl, I didn't know. I had no idea. And some girls say that it helps reduce their cramping. For me, I felt like I didn't cramp any more than I usually do. And sometimes it's just really bad on like the day before or the first day. And I still was kind of feeling that. But also it was my first time using it. I've heard a lot of girls say that probably around the second or third period, you really become acclimated to it. Some women have experienced a lessening of their period, the amount of time that they're on their period. So yeah, check it out, y'all. It's definitely worth the try. I'm gonna tell you, because like I said, I don't think I'll ever do anything else. And they're reusable. So as long as you take good care of them, you boil them, you wash them, you use them, you keep them somewhere where they're not being damaged, you should probably be able to use them for a good 3 years, okay? But anyway, I hope it was informative. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.